You're listening to Inside Melbourne, the official podcast of the Melbourne Football Club. Proudly presented by Zurich Insurance, insuring the things you truly love, like this podcast.
Hey D's fans, welcome back to the Inside Melbourne podcast. My name is Ben Gibson. It's been a little while since we've been at it, but we're still in isolation and we've got two great guests via Zoom, James Harms and Stephen May. Welcome, boys.
Thanks, Benny. Thanks for having me, mate.
I'm guessing you two are no strangers to these sort of conference calls. You've been doing a bit on Zoom recently.
Oh, a little bit, just more with our teammates and coaches. Maisie, been on a few with Maisie, always a bit of fun.
Important to, I guess, stay connected to the teammates throughout this time as well.
Yeah, 100%. With the whole isolation rules, it's been a bit of a huge change for the boys. We're used to seeing each other every day, so apart from playing a bit of PlayStation together, Zoom's the only way we sort of able to have conversations and those sort of things.
Have you had any projects or any things like that to just sort of keep you busy and keep the mind ticking over?
Yeah, Harms,
we
came up with one last week. You talk about your one you came up with.
Yeah, we come up with each week. Goody's given us a new project to do, and last week a couple of us boys came up with a project, and it was just to find out a little bit about your heritage and where you come from, and a bit of background about your family. So on Friday afternoon, we split into a few different groups, and everyone just shared a little bit about their background and a few facts and stuff about their heritage.
Yeah, great. We're into about week 5 or 6 of isolation. You guys getting used to the lifestyle yet?
Yeah, I am. That's for sure. But I'm kind of keen to get back into it. I don't know about you, Steve.
Yeah, I'm sort of ready to get back into just training and playing. I'm a bit over it, but I understand it's a bit bigger than sport at the moment. So, when the time's right, I'll be ready. That's for sure.
Maisie, you spoke to some of the club staff last week and you touched on FOMO, the fear of missing out. Is it a bit weird, I guess, just not being amongst everyone?
Yeah, and I suppose I've never really lived on my own before. And once I moved in by myself a couple months later, this coronavirus pandemic happened. So, living on my own wasn't so bad at the start, because if I was bored or I wanted to go see someone else, I could just jump in my car or go down the road. But now the new rules, like you just stay home alone. I found it pretty tough, but there's not much you can miss out on at the moment because everyone else is doing the same thing. So I'm sort of getting used to it now. And
did you spend a bit of time living with Daniel Kerr? I know he presented you at Guernsey last week for the D's. Yeah,
we lived together up on the Gold Coast when we got drafted for a few years, and then he got traded, or he signed with Carlton down here. And then once I got traded to Melbourne, we moved in together again for the last year and a bit. So, the house is definitely a lot quieter now that I'm on myself, but I'm enjoying my own space, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's sort of started his own social media trend recently. How do you guys go in the kitchen? Because Gus Brayshaw is another one who's been big on socials with his Barbie onions. Are you doing much cooking?
I guess when cafes are shut down as well now, I used to love going out for brekkie, so started cooking my own brekkie a lot more. And I've got a few little dishes that I like to make. I think Stephen took one of them for lunch today, actually.
Yeah, I've been cooking heaps. I've got nothing to do, so I'm actually enjoying it. I reckon it's pretty fun, and when the recipe actually comes up the way it's supposed to, it's pretty satisfying. But yeah, I went around to Harmsy when I did some gym with Harmsy, and he showed me this sort of tuna salad thing he had going that didn't look good at all, and had a taste. It wasn't too bad, and I just whipped that up today for lunch, and I'll give it to you, Nut. It wasn't too bad, brother.
Yeah, it's a good little recipe. One of my mates taught me it. A couple of boiled eggs and a bit of tuna on salad goes down a treat.
And we've seen a few isolation haircuts amongst the playing group. Cozzy, Joel Smith, a few real ordinary ones. Have you had a crack, Maisie?
A little couple little stripes they've filled in now, but not really. I tried to cut Harmsy's hair. Did a pretty good job. Harmsy stuffed mine up, but might have to wait till the barbers are back up and going.
And there's been a lot of dog walking at the moment. It's just about all you can do in isolation. You've both got a couple of dogs keeping you busy.
Yeah, I just got back from a walk, actually. Went down to the little park near mine and took the two dogs for a walk, which is good. And ran with Maisie yesterday, and he brought Big Boston down. And I had Sonny with me, and they had a bit of a run around at the Oval, which was good as well.
So you've just got Boston back, Maisie. Is that true?
Yeah, he was on the Gold Coast, and they grounded all the flights, and then when there was because he's got a snub nose, he's a bulldog. A boxer died, and they stopped flying those sort of dogs with the snub nose. So I didn't even know how I was going to get him back. Couldn't drive him back down because they closed the borders to Queensland. So it was a bit of a tricky sort of situation, but Qantas ended up putting a flight on, and I was lucky to get him on that. So now he's back here, which is great. But it was pretty lonely without my dog as well. The start of isolation, but having him back now, it's making life a bit easier.
And you are doing a bit of a pilot course. Can you talk us through what that entails exactly?
Yeah, we're in my office right now, actually, where I do all my study, got all my maps.
Yeah.
But no, I'm doing my commercial pilot license, so it entails a lot, actually. Probably not, can't just pretty cover it, but yeah, it's pretty much study, and then you fly. Once you get to a certain part of your study, then you do a practical, which is pretty fun. You don't just sit in class for like 4 months and then go flying. You fly a couple of days, and then you study for a couple of days. So I'm able to get a few of the practice exams out of the way, but I'm not actually able to advance my studies at the moment because the school's shut. So that's been pretty annoying, whereas a lot of boys are knocking out some uni and that sort of thing during the ISO period. The only thing I can really do is prepare, and I've done about 20 practice exams, so I'm sort of ready to give it a shot, I reckon.
And Harmsy, you've been out on the tours. I saw you did some labouring with your cousin last week. Enjoying that?
Yeah, it was good fun. The early wake up wasn't great, but it was good to get out. My cousin has a crane company, so just helped out on the cranes and did a bit of labouring, and it was good to learn that side of the industry. I've done my Cert 400 diploma in building, so just good to see that side of how cranes work, and potentially could maybe do my riggers ticket in the next few months.
Bit of a different lifestyle to that of a footballer.
Yeah, it definitely makes you appreciate football a bit more when you have to wake up early and then only getting home at waking up at 5 and then getting home at 5. It's way different to football.
You boys have been doing a bit of training together. Obviously, you can only do one-on-ones at this stage. Have you adapted, I guess, to training without a whole team?
Steve, you want to go that one? Or?
Yeah, it's not too bad. There's not a lot of drills you can do with just two people. It's mostly just running and a few kicking drills. But Burjo's managed to still flog us. We're still getting at like 10K sessions, which we're getting used to. But the thing with pre-season and running programs, like there's always like an end goal and you're getting ready for something, whereas at the moment we're sort of just waiting. Like, so you smash out a big session and it might be in the end of January and you're going 4 weeks till we're playing games or whatever. But now at the moment it's like train hard and then it's like, well, we'll just go again next week and then we'll just go again next week. But the season does look like it's getting closer now, so we sort of noticed the sessions have gotten a bit lighter because he's sort of getting ready for us to get back into training. So but we still see the boys. You only allowed to train in twos, but there's only so many ovals in Melbourne and there's a lot of footballers, so you cross paths throughout the day. That's sort of the highlight of the day.
And do you feel like you've been able to hold your fitness? I guess it's a strange one. It's different to match fitness. You sort of touched on it's more like the pre-season, but do you feel like you're still in good shape that you could jump straight back into it? Yeah,
I think the boys probably, if not a little bit fitter, although it's not match fitness, but everyone's sort of weight and their running ability, because we've been doing it for so long now, since September, October last year when we started our running off-season program. So I think the boys are definitely fit. It's just going to be more that contact and getting back into that game sort of running and training in groups. As you said, we've only been training in pairs.
So do you feel like that 3-week mini pre-season that's sort of been discussed once we come back, do you feel like that'll be important just to get the footy side of things going?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Like more contact, as Stephen said. We haven't been able to get much contact in or any game stuff. So think once we're able to train in bit bigger groups and start doing contact, then it'll allow us to probably get fit. But that's the only thing that probably worries you is having doing any contact for 6 weeks and then going straight back into it. So I'm sure Burjo on the fitness stuff will get us ready relatively quick, and we'll be ready to go before you know it.
There's been plenty of talk in the media about a whole lot of different things. The Perth teams have been one. They've been given the approval to train in groups of 10 from the government, but not the AFL. Do you think that would have been a bit of an advantage?
Yeah, definitely. I reckon it would have been. As I said, when you're in bigger groups, you can start doing game sense drills and more match sim stuff. So, I definitely find that as an advantage, and glad the AFL hasn't allowed it, to be honest.
And hubs has been another big talking point. It's probably looking now less likely than likely. What do you boys make of that? Would you have been happy to go away for a little while?
I mean, it depends. I wouldn't, I live by myself, so it wouldn't have affected me as much. But, I understand some players with young kids or expecting kids and that sort of thing, or maybe sick family members, they need to be around. But the 20 sort of week sort of setup wasn't ideal. When I heard that, I thought that's a bit ridiculous. But, I think if they were to go into 3 or 4 week hubs max, you'd be able to sort of get it done just for the sake of getting back into footy and getting something going. But the news over the last 10 days or so, it's looked more and more unlikely to be going in the hubs. And if it is, I think it's going to be more like round one when we played West Coast. It was flew over, no contact, stayed in our own hotel, own floor to the game. There's no fans. I think that's probably more what they're going with now. But I suppose we'll know more soon.
It's going to be a different season no matter how it looks. Are you sort of on board for the shorter breaks and turning around in maybe 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're pretty well suited to that. We backed up a lot of sessions in pre-season with sore bodies, and Burjo's worked with soccer before, and he knows what's going on in that sense of the shorter breaks. So I don't think we could be any more prepared for the season coming up. I think we're ready to go, and I'm really excited to see how we go.
We've played one game without crowds. It's looking like the whole season will probably be in front of empty stadiums. What did you guys make of that experience?
Didn't like it.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Even though you'd rather legit, I'd rather have 50,000 West Coast fans booing us, and it just sort of gives you that sort of energy.
Gives an atmosphere,
Yeah, it just felt like a match sim, training session. Even though
it felt like a practice match against them, didn't it? It just didn't feel like it. It's a weird feeling. It's hard to describe it, I guess.
Yeah, well, the fans certainly play a big part in our season. We're going to have some questions from the outer right after the break.
Thanks to our co-principal partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich Insurance. For over 100 years, they've been insuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and they truly love the D's.
Welcome back to Inside Melbourne. Just before we get to questions from the outer, we want to shout out to all our members because they've been playing a major part in keeping this club afloat. One member, Dan, wanted a specific shout out to his kids, Ali and Dylan, and said he would sign up his dog as a member if we could pronounce his last name. Now I'm going to spell it out and Harmsy's going to have a crack. So Harmsy, Kalusevicius.
Kalusevicius.
All right. Well, Dan, let us know how it went, and if that's correct, please sign up your dog.
What was it, that?
Kalusevicius.
Bloody spell.
I think that's right.
Floating in the background.
I hope it's correct.
Hopefully.
So we're going to get some questions from the fans. First up from Luke Boyle. This one came through a few times. How did James come up with the name Fat Nut Customs?
Well, Luke's actually my business partner.
Little plug for him.
And as everyone knows, my nickname's the Nut. And Luke was a little bit fat when we started the business. And that's how he came up with it, Fat Nut. So
why's your
he's
nickname
actually lost
Nut?
a fair bit. well, in my first year, I used to call Jeremy Hownut. And then he started calling me the Nut. And then ever since then, everyone's called me the Nut.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know that.
And give your business a little bit of a plug. How is that going?
Yeah, it's actually going pretty well. If anyone hasn't seen it, we're obviously Fat Nut Customs. Jump on Instagram and check them out. It's a glass printing company, so we print images on glass, and Stephen's seen a few. They come up a treat. So we've actually just added canvas and metal to the business. So if anyone wants any photos put onto some material, let us know, and we'll sort you out with a good deal.
Very good. Now, Keegs wants to know who's the best and worst to share a room with on an interstate trip.
Oh, probably worst is Christopher Tracker. Doesn't shut up. And best would probably be, I don't mind rooming with Maisie. We've been on a couple of holidays together, and we've roomed together a couple of times.
Yeah, Hamzy's definitely the best because he sort of gives me the pick of the bunch in terms of the rooms and all that sort of thing. He's not really that fussed. I'll say the worst probably be Michael Hibbard because he just takes a towel or like he'll use a toothbrush or and then just throw it away. He thinks it's his. He thinks everything's his. So definitely Hibbo.
Caleb Cox is asking a question. I don't know which ones of these are insiders or not.
This is an insider.
Something to do with having bad breath. Can you enlighten us?
He's just been a half-wit, just a running joke. He's been running for about 6 months. Nothing to it.
Well,
Stephen's involved in that as well, no doubt.
He'll be enjoying the airtime, I'm sure. A question for Harmsy. I reckon Maisie will have a crack at this one too. Who's the better defender, May or Lever?
Well, considering I've gone to half back this year and I have to man up Jake's man a lot of the time, I'm going to have to go to Stephen.
What's yours?
How's that even a question? One of us is a defender and one of us isn't. How's it? What? One of us is an intercept, chest marking person who plays in the back line. One of us defends people. Who is that? Who?
Is it your favourite pastime to hang some stuff on Jake Lever?
100%, yeah.
Another one coming through. Who's the better golfer out of the two of you?
Oh, definitely Stephen.
Yeah,
Stephen plays a lot more than me.
I play a lot more than him. Tell you what, though, Hamzy's very good for a guy who doesn't play at all, like maybe once or twice a year, and then he plays pretty well, whereas I try my heart out every day trying to get better, and I'm not that much better than him. So, yeah.
You got me right, bit.
Looking forward to the courses being open again soon, Maisie.
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting for Friday.
I heard a rumour Sunday they might be open.
And then maybe Monday they could be back to easing some restrictions. So, that could be, yeah.
Who has the better tats out of Harmsy and Jonesy? Christopher Edwards wants to know.
Jonesy's a putrid, so Harmsy by default.
Cheers, Stephen.
I think Harmsy agrees with that. This is an interesting question from Lexi. What's been your most embarrassing moment while playing at Melbourne? I don't know whether that is on the field, off the field. Have you done some embarrassing things?
Probably I got caught drinking on a Sunday one time. That was pretty embarrassing. On field, I got in the NAB Cup. I mean,
when you got suspended.
Shut up! That was stiff. I got falcons in the goal square when the Hawthorn supporters were having a crack at me, and I was going back at them, and then the next ball that came in, it falconed me straight here, and that was pretty embarrassing. They let me know about that rest of the game. But then I hit Gorney up the middle of the ground for a coaster and link. So.
I don't have much embarrassing on field. Not a lot off field though. I can't.
What about every week, James? What about every week when you go out on the field and there's TV cameras looking at your head? Surely that's one of the embarrassing moments.
That's good, mate. Good publicity.
Your top 3 footballers that you looked up to as a kid. Any idols? I know you were a Melbourne supporter.
Yep, mine would be. I always liked Juddy and Cousins, but Melbourne probably David Neitz. There's 3 for you.
What about you, Maisie?
Mine were my favourite player was Matthew Pavlich. Then it was I was an Essendon fan, so Matthew Lloyd. And then I loved watching Buddy Franklin when I was got in my teenage years and he was kicking 100 goals and that sort of thing. There wasn't many. Actually, also Andrew McLeod. When I was young, I loved watching him off the halfback freak.
How do you enjoy playing on Buddy Franklin?
I don't enjoy it at all. He's a very good player and he's hard to beat and he's pretty lippy, so it's always a tough day. But it is a good, like, if you do your job on him, or it's a lot more satisfying than most weeks. But conversely, if he kicks a bag on you, you're on all the highlights, so it's not as fun. So,
do you cop any good sledges out on the field these days?
Do I cop any?
Yeah.
No, not really.
He's usually giving them out.
Yeah. Forwards don't really say anything. They're pretty switched on. They just want to do their job and kick goals. Whereas backs, we're trying to do everything we can to put them off their game. Their last sort of forward, the only forward that really runs his mouth a bit is Jack Rewalt now. Like he likes to have a bit of fun with some banter and some sledges. And Stevie Johnson's really good, but he does it still. But not all the young guns coming through now. You don't get much out of them. It's hard to.
Now, a lot of questions have come through about the forward 50 entries. It seems to be an ongoing one. One has asked how we have improved them. I'm guessing we haven't been together since the last game, but has there been a lot of talk about it internally?
Well, not really. We just I did a bit more focused drills on them at training. So trying to build connection with our mids and forwards, doing a lot more re-entry drills. And I think if we had played the season, then the supporters would have seen how much we've improved. But obviously it's hard to comment on it now that we haven't played many games. But yeah, hopefully once we get back out there, supporters will see our connection and our forward 50s will be a lot more efficient than last year.
Now, Maisie, Ben is asking what you've thought about playing in front of the crowds at the G. Obviously, you haven't played a lot of games for the Ds yet, but like Queen's birthday last year, have you enjoyed coming across to a bigger club than what you experienced at the Suns?
Yeah, 100%. My first game, I played one quarter against Geelong down in Geelong, so I hadn't played a home game yet. And then my second, so my real first game for the Ds was Queen's birthday. So, it's unbelievable just running out and, even in the warm-up and stuff, just looking around and the big freeze was happening. It was pretty surreal because I thought about that. And, when I was making my decision, I penciled that game in as a game I wanted to play. So getting to do that. And then even just playing against, we played Carlton in round 13 or something. And there was 60,000 there. And I was just, two harms and all that. They were just like, it's a pretty good crowd. But that was the biggest crowd I've ever played in. So I was just like, all right, every game was a bigger crowd. So now they're taking it all away from me and all the fans are not allowed to come to the game. So
Yeah.
Looking forward to definitely getting back out on the G with a packed house. Hopefully next year when the rules are all back to normal.
Another common question is, what do you do before the game? Any pre-game routines or superstitions, anything like that?
Well, we actually had dinner.
Together,
yeah. Go down to 825. It's a little pizzeria on Chapel. And let's get dinner and a bit of pasta, pizza and pasta, and always have a few lollies the night before.
And easy. I just put my left boot on first before the game, and that's pretty easy. I can't really stuff that up. Although when you have to get your ankle strapped or something, and then I'll have to then take my left boot back off and put it on first again. That's a bit of an annoying thing. But yeah, that's the only sort of superstition I have or ritual.
Yeah, that's a good one. Tom Cooney wants to know, Harmsy, what's your PB around the tan?
Well, I've never actually done a full run around the tan, but my PB for the 3K was, I think it was a 10:37.
Was it tough doing the time trial around the tan as opposed to just around Gosh's paddock?
Well, the only tough part is about 2K of it's slightly uphill, so I think that comes into effect. Yeah, so we go up the hill, the whole back of it is back up. Not a big hill, but it's just a slight terrain up, where We only ever done a 2K around Gosh's, so never done a 3K there.
Now, Henry's asking, what's your post-workout snack? You had anything, any treats in the cupboard?
Harmsy's smoothies. Picked up a mean smoothie, little berry and protein and
yeah, a little peanut butter, vanilla berry smoothie. I like to whip up after we do a bit of a workout, don't I, Steve?
yeah, it's delicious. I'll give him that. You can't do much right, old James, but his smoothies are elite.
Now, the $1 million question's coming through. When will AFL go back this year? Have you got a feeling? Maybe late June, early July. Is there a general feel?
I reckon late June, early July.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not too sure. Hopefully, train's back shortly. I've heard a whistle he might be back soon, but not too sure. I think we'll find out next few days.
Fingers crossed for that. And just lastly, it's a really interesting question from David. I think I'll know your answer, but he wants to know if a premiership this year will feel the same given the circumstances.
Oh,
good question. It's a very
I don't know.
I haven't even thought about that. I just want to get back to playing footy. Premiership feels so far away. I just want to play another game. But I wouldn't have thought anyone who won the premiership this year wouldn't be going, oh, you know, if you win the flag, they're going to be the reigning champs going into next year. So any win's a good win. So any flag will definitely be a bloody awesome flag.
Absolutely.
Good question. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, boys. Really appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of isolation, and hopefully we're back out on the park not too far away.
Cheers, Benny.
Thanks, mate.
Inside Melbourne, proudly brought to you by Zurich.